Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to do a first impression slash review on the latest Kosas product, and this is the Moisturizing Baked Bronzer. I purchased mine from Mecca, but you could get this straight from the Kosas website, and what I love about the website is that they ship worldwide. So it's roughly around the same price, but because Mecca is an Australian, New Zealand beauty destination, the product gets a lot quicker as opposed to me ordering it from the actual website. So Kosas is I would classify it as a luxurious vegan clean beauty brand, and I did a full face of Kosas. Unfortunately, this product right here was not around at a time, and I used the light cream duo, which is marketed as a blush, but I did see a lot of people use it as a bronzer as well, specifically the Tropical Equinox. Unfortunately, that shade did not work for me as a bronzer, but it worked a lot better as a blush. So I'm so excited that they finally came out with a bronzer. And also this released towards the summertime in the US. So currently in New Zealand, we're going into winter. I still wanted to try this product. This bronzer right here comes in 3 shades. It retails for $60 New Zealand, which is very hefty. This bronzer right here is formulated with shea butter to hydrate and sculpt the face. That's why it's called a moisturizing bronzer. It offers a creamy payoff and has been developed to match perfectly with the skin tone. So this specific bronzer right here works great with the tinted oil, which I am going to do. I have the shade 06 on the tinted oil, and I love that on the packaging at the back it tells you the corresponding tones of the tinted oil on each of the shade category. I fall into the medium category, and this has got a natural sheen finish which will give you that faux glow. The packaging is so pretty. It has embossed water splashes all over it. I love that they did not go with the blue color. Instead they went for green, which basically stands for the whole brand because it's a clean vegan beauty brand. The packaging of the bronzer is so pretty. It kind of reminds me of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder, the packaging wise, but everything is transparent, so you definitely see what the product is like. And there's a sticker at the back, and also you could see the actual product. The packaging is really sturdy, which is nice, and it's a nice compact to display as well. In here comes with 6 grams of product. I have the shade medium golden bronze. This is what the bronzer looks like. As you can see from the pan, it has already a nice sheen to it. I'm interested to see how that's going to work with my oily skin tone, especially on my cheeks because I have a little bit of a textured cheeks. Ooh, swatching it, it's very buttery. This is what it looks like. It has a little bit of like a golden flecks of glitter. It's very golden, but if you're paler than me, it would probably appear a lot more warmer than your skin tone. But personally for me, I like this kind of tone because it complements my yellow undertone. It's kind of easy to blend. Yeah, I'm excited to use this product. It's not going to be a wear test because right now it's 5:16 p.m. so I don't have a lot of time to wear it. We're just going to try it out. I'm just gonna quickly apply my base. I am going to use the Kosas Tinted Face Oil in 06, and I am going to try and pair it with the Kosas Revealer Concealer since we're trying the whole brand once again. I'll speed that through, and then we are going to go straight to the bronzer application. I seriously have a love-hate relationship with this concealer because the last time I reviewed this, it worked perfectly fine. But now it's doing its thing where it's like caking up around the under eye area, and I don't know what to do with it. It could be the sponge that I'm using. It could be I did not wait for a while, but oh my gosh, it's like picking up everything up in this area right here. I really don't like it, but we're just gonna have to push through it. Just ignore the under eye area. Hopefully that works perfectly fine once we finish applying the stuff, but it's just like so patchy along here. Now for the bronzer, it does give a little bit of sheen to the face, which I think is going to pair well with a matte foundation as opposed to the tinted oil, because this one is a little bit moisturizing and hydrating that if you pile everything on, you will look like a hot greasy mess at the end of the day. But I feel like that's more of the Kosas beauty aesthetic. Personally for me, because I have oily skin, I would like to pair this a lot with a matte foundation. I don't really have a problem with this not having a mirror because I really like the whole aesthetic of the bronzer. So I am going to pick up this Eco Tools huge dual fiber brush, which I've been using for bronzer. I picked up a lot of product, and upon picking up, as you can see, it's a little bit powdery, so just be mindful of that. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. So now I'm gonna have to distribute this evenly so I don't have like a huge patch on my face. So what I'm going to do is just do that, and hopefully blend. Ooh, that is so pretty. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer here to cover up the concealer. And same goes for this one. Ooh, it's blending out beautifully. I actually quite like the sheen that it gives. As you can see, if the light hits my face, I feel like I already have a highlighter, which is perfect for summertime. And I really love the tone of this. This is the type of formula where a little goes a long way. Too much can be a disaster, so just keep that in mind. And I would probably suggest for you to use a more dual fiber brush. That way you can control how much you pick up as opposed to like a solid traditional bronzer brush, because chances are you're gonna look muddy or orange in like 2 seconds. So just give it a teeny tiny dab. My mistake for the initial dipping was I kind of tapped it, so I flaked a little bit of the powder away. So this is softly pressed. I have a feeling that once I drop this, it's gonna be the end of it. Like I won't be able to salvage it, so just be really careful. And I am going to go for a second dip, so I am going to just boop like that and apply to the areas where I needed more. I feel like I really like the cheek area to be a little bit bronze, so I'm going to apply a little bit on my nose. And this kind of formula is a little bit easy to blend. I feel like if you have this type of brush, 2 taps would be enough. Just kind of dot it all over the face and then blend. And then you really have to get in there to fully blend the product. So with the tinted oil, if you're not a fan of setting it, it could probably cling onto the patches where it's still wet, whereas if you set the areas that you applied the tinted face, then it just glides and blends beautifully on the skin. And I like this bronzer. I still am going, but because there's so much product on my brush that I'm able to pretty much cover my entire face. But looking at it on the viewfinder, I feel like I just, you know, bathe in the sun, and I really like the sheen that it gives. Like I don't even need a highlighter. I'm excited to try this out with my normal foundations to see how the formula is going to work. I saw on the Kosas Instagram's Insta story that they like to apply this bronzer using a fan brush to kind of, you know, give like a light hint of color. I feel like that's another way of applying it, so you don't apply too much, because it's very pigmented. I'm going to try and pop a little bit under my eyes to finish my look. Even the tiny brush, it picks up a lot of product, so just make sure to tap the excess. And I am going to try and cover this dry under eye. This is probably the first ever bronzer that I've tried from a vegan, cruelty-free, clean beauty brand that actually shows up on my face. I did try the Press bronzer, but unfortunately that one shows up just like my regular face powder. This one, however, is very pigmented. I really like the tone of it, and I love the fact that it has a built-in sheen to it that literally gives you a faux glow. So all I need is probably a faux freckle and I'm good to go. So I'll just quickly finish up the rest of my face, apply my lip color, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Overall, my thoughts on the bronzer, I actually do love it. Personally, for me, this can double as my blush as well. I tend to do that on the days where I like to put a little bit of makeup just to look presentable, but not too much. The only two things that I really have a problem with this bronzer is that the price. It's very expensive. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you are willing to spend money on a good product, maybe give it a go. To the application process, like you really have to know and learn the formula, give it a go maybe one time or 2 times to be able to identify which type of application works for you. I have been enjoying applying my bronzer with a dual fiber brush because I find that I could work the product all over my face without having to apply too much. So I really highly recommend for you to use a dual fiber brush. It doesn't matter what brand. I do know that e.l.f. Cosmetics carries a good dual fiber brush. Also, you can use a fan brush. It's not really a bad thing, but I feel like this bronzer is a little bit too pigmented, which I personally don't really care for. Like, I don't mind if it's buildable or if it's too pigmented. As long as the product shows up on my skin, I'm all good with that. But for a lot of people, too much pigment can be a problem. So just apply a very light hand, especially if you're on the lighter skin tone, because you could easily look like an Oompa Loompa in like 1 second. I would give this bronzer a really good rating, probably a 4.5 out of 5, mainly because I just absolutely love the brand. I love the concept. I love the overall aesthetic of the product and the way it applies on my skin. I hope you guys find this review helpful. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.